Okay. Carrie, congratulations. I thought you did an outstanding job in this. And,
Thank you.
You know, I know it's, really is a role of a lifetime. It's such an iconic classic character, but how did you feel when you actually found out?
I honestly can't remember. I mean, I remember bursting into tears, and I remember thanking Baz over and over and over again. He was trying to talk, and I was just saying, thank you. Yeah, it was amazing. I had no idea. I really thought I'd gone as far as I could go by just auditioning.
And what a wonderful character she is, but so tragic, you know? What kind of research do you have to do, to just get into the mindset of her, you know?
Well, Baz from the beginning really wanted to reference Zelda Fitzgerald and Ginevra King, who were the two women that he based Daisy on. So that's kind of where I started, and they were the most amazing resources. Getting to read Zelda's diaries and her letters to Fitzgerald and Ginevra King's letters to Fitzgerald. And you could literally see where he'd taken parts of them and turned them into Daisy. So that was a really good sort of foundation for the whole thing.
Yeah, and then, you know Baz, the amazing Baz Luhrmann, you know what his movies look like. So I would have been like, oh my God, I can't wait to get started with this. But how do you take that guy's mind, his visions, and then transform them into reality? Like, what's it like to work with a man like that?
What's amazing is I watched the film for the first time 2 days ago, and I just didn't think. I mean, when I walked onto the sets, I was always amazed by the set, and I was amazed by the costumes and the number of people. But when you're in it, you really don't feel like you're in sort of a huge Hollywood film. You know, he's so focused on the actors and just on the scene that you're doing. So all of this sort of stuff doesn't really interfere. And then when you watch the film, it's sort of the same thing. It's these amazing elements that come in, like the music and the design, but none of it dominates and overwhelms just the story that he's telling. So, yeah, it was amazing.
Yeah, it must be truly a joy to sit there and watch it after it's all done. I can't even imagine from your perspective.
It's crazy, but it was amazing to see. And I loved seeing all the work, the scenes that I wasn't in, the sets that I never went to, that stuff's always really fun.
And you got to wear some pretty nice clothes and jewelry.
Yeah.
I mean, I love that headdress. Now, really, did you want to just take it home and slip it in your purse and go, Catherine, it's just missing, I need another one?
I did. There was a man who used to follow me around when I was wearing the Tiffany's jewelry to make sure that I didn't do that. And every time I made sort of a joke where I'd accidentally drop it down my blouse, he would stare at me with daggers. So apparently not funny.
Yeah, I'm not going down there.
Yeah,
no.
Yeah, exactly.
You work with some wonderful people in this film, no doubt about it. But I have to ask you about Leo, because I remember when I saw The Great Gatsby with Robert Redford, I think that's when I fell in love with him. And I think that's what's going to happen here with Leo. I mean, even though he's amazing, but to work opposite that guy, he's just so fantastic. What was it like for you?
I mean, he's like a real movie star in the most wonderful sense. He's sort of got this old Hollywood feel about him. He's also incredibly gracious and lovely to be around and very easy to be around. So for me, coming into this and feeling slightly daunted by the scale of it and, the size of this role opposite him, he couldn't have been more welcoming and more kind of inclusive. He's lovely. You've
had so far not good, wow, every role you've done, amazing choices that you got. When did you know that you wanted to act? Was it always in your radar when you were a kid?
Yeah, from when I was really little. I was one of those sort of annoying kids who wanted to be in the school play from as long as I can remember, really.
And so what was it that kind of gave you that leap and the confidence to kind of come to Hollywood,
I don't know. Well, I sort of had been doing, English films and a little bit of television and theatre for a while, and I kind of started working over in America about 5 or 6 years ago, and sort of had America pinned as this very sort of threatening, Hollywood place where I wouldn't, I'd be I'd be really afraid all the time. And actually, you find that all film crews are essentially the same. They're all just, you get such camaraderie and such, it turns into a family. And that's what we had in Sydney. We spent 5.5 months together and all felt very sad to walk away from it.
Of course, there's a great iconic line, the past cannot be repeated, in this film. And I just wondered, for you, how does that affect you as an actor and your choices?
I definitely feel that I consider my choices quite a lot. I'm also I kind of go with my gut. I never do a film unless I have a strong feeling. And most times I read something and I have an instant reaction as to whether it's something I want to kind of get into or not. So I feel Like I don't, at the moment I'm in a really fortunate position where I can sort of stop for a second if there's nothing I really want to do. And then when I do find that thing, it's so exciting.
Well, the next exciting thing I can't wait to see you is Inside Llewyn Davis, where you got to work with the Coen brothers.
I know.
But you're playing a singer in this. Well, I know we saw you sing in Shame and a whole different ball game there.
Yeah.
But tell me just very quickly about that film and I mean what it was like to prepare for that.
Well, that was crazy. Because I wrapped Gatsby, got on a plane and flew to New York and started shooting 2 days later on the Coen brothers film. So it was like a complete sort of, you know, it's a totally different world and a completely different character. The Coen brothers are so cool, like unbelievably cool. It was a completely different set. You know, they sort of tend to stand behind the monitor and sort of, you occasionally hear them chuckle and you think like, I've done something right. And they'll come out and they'll sort of chat to you and they're, you know, they're wonderful. But it was great. It was great. I got to work with Oscar Isaacs again, who I worked with in Drive, and I love him and he's such a good actor. So I had a great time.